That is disgusting what they just did to him. Anybody would have been wise to predict that was going to happen to him. There was no chance that boxing was going to allow him to come in and get that win if it went to a decision.
Oh, he catches him off guard! Francis Ngannou has just scored a knockdown against the heavyweight champ! Anything can happen, it just did! Well, what do we have here, folks?
Welcome to the Dark Times channel. And before I go ahead and get started, make sure you guys hit that like button for me. And if you're not new to the channel and you enjoy the content so far on this channel, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me as well. And so let's go ahead and get into it. As you all may already know, there was a highly anticipated heavyweight matchup last night featuring Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou. Tyson Fury is 32 years old, has 31 fights, 30 wins, 0 losses, 1 draw, 21 knockouts, standing at 6'9", weighing in at 277 with an 85-inch arm reach. And so he was facing off against Francis Ngannou, who's a UFC fighter and has never been in a sanctioned boxing match in his life. And Francis is 34 years old, 19 fights, 16 wins, 3 losses, 12 knockouts, standing at 6'4", weighing in at 277 pounds with an 83-inch arm reach. And so for everybody who's watched this fight, most people are saying that Francis won this fight. Tyson Fury lost this fight.
You lost, Rock, you lost. Every fight I got you. The Great White Hopeless, they called you, remember?
And I would have to agree. As soon as I saw that Tyson Fury was actually allowing cameras in his locker room while he was getting his hands taped and wrapped up, I said, this is going to be a problem. This is going to be a problem. Because if y'all remember that second Deontay Wilder fight, in which Deontay Wilder had a dent in his head, and everybody saw Tyson Fury's gloves flopping around, and everybody saw that Tyson Fury was slipping his hands in and out of his gloves, trying to gain an advantage. Tyson Fury is probably one of the most hyped boxers I've ever seen. He had his trilogy with Deontay Wilder, in which the first fight he got dropped and lost, in which the referee didn't count properly. If you go back and look at that fight, Tyson Fury should have been counted out and Deontay Wilder should have won that first fight. The second fight, like I said, we all saw the floppy glove gate. You can't tell me my eyes didn't see what they saw. I've never ever in my life seen a glove flopping around like that.
I tried the same method the second time, but this time you scratched flesh out of my ears, which caused my ears to bleed. It's impossible for a brand new 10-ounce glove to bend, to keep a smushed in form, or to have loose space. I highly believe you put something hard in your glove. Something the size and the shape of an egg weight. Here's the reason why the side of my face swelled up in an egg weight form. And it left a dent in my face as well.
And Deontay Wilder spoke out about it after the fight. But if I know like I know, I'm sure Deontay Wilder was approached by boxing or individuals within boxing, and he was told to keep his mouth shut if he ever wanted to fight again, and not to mess the bag up for everybody else, and not to mess the bag up for himself in the end. And so that's what he did. And so that's what Deontay Wilder did. He said, let me go ahead and regroup, get myself together, train a little bit differently, make sure I got somebody that's on my team that's going to look out for me and that's going to watch Tyson Fury when he's wrapping his hands. And so that's what he did. And we saw a different Deontay Wilder in the third fight. Now that third fight was a legit win. I'll give Tyson Fury credit for that one. That's a fight that he actually won. Like in the second one to some degree, was by using his 6'9", 277 plus frame. Leaning that big sloppy body on Deontay Wilder the whole fight, wearing him down. And Deontay Wilder is somebody that's tall himself. He's standing at 6'7", but he weighs around 220, 230 pounds. And he's wiry. He has no base to him. And so after the third round, Deontay Wilder is gassed. And that's how Tyson Fury wins a lot of his fights. He leans that big sloppy body on his opponents and wears them down. And I'm not saying Tyson Fury is not a good boxer, but he's definitely not as skilled as people are making him out to be. His advantage is his stature and the fact that the heavyweight boxing scene is depleted, especially in the United States. We don't have any more great heavyweight boxers coming out of the United States. Everybody's playing basketball and football. It's a much easier route to the bag without having to worry about brain damage. And so a lot of our potential great boxers just aren't even getting in the gym anymore. Like I said, they're playing football and basketball. It's the better option. It's the safer option. And so Tyson Fury, along with other heavyweights, are taking advantage of a watered-down division. But last night, Tyson Fury got exposed. He was dealing with an individual with Francis Ngannou who it didn't matter if you lean that big sloppy body on top of him. You're talking about a grappler and a great wrestler, somebody who knows how to use his body, somebody who knows how to get that weight up off of him. And that's what he was doing. Every time Tyson Fury would lean on him, Francis would stand him up and then pop him with a 1-2. And Tyson Fury wasn't ready for that. He didn't know how to combat that. I think that's something he said he was worried about before the fight. And he had a right to be, because that's a huge advantage when somebody who's towering at 6'9" and has got a 40-pound to 50-pound weight advantage over most of his opponents. That's a huge advantage. And I think boxing, especially the heavyweight division, needs to change that. There's no other division that allows such a weight disparity. That's a huge advantage when we're talking about fighting. And so I think that's something that boxing needs to look into. Somebody that big needs to be fighting in the super heavyweight division. Tyson Fury is an average boxer. He's got a glass chin that damn near gets dropped in every fight that he's in. Now, I'll give him this. He does have heart, because he'll get up off that mat like the Undertaker and get dropped again and get right back up. So I'll give him that. He's got heart, but like I said, pound for pound, he's an average boxer at best and uses every inch of his weight to his advantage. But last night it didn't work, because I believe there was only like a 20-pound weight difference, and you're dealing with an individual that knows all the dirty tactics, the grappling tactics, knows how to use his body, knows how to position himself when somebody's trying to tie him up. And that was a problem. And there was a point in the match when you could see Tyson Fury getting a little frustrated and threw an elbow at Francis Ngannou. And Francis Ngannou didn't even flinch. That was a problem for Tyson Fury. After Tyson Fury threw that elbow, he knew he was in trouble. He threw that elbow and Francis Ngannou didn't even flinch, because that's something that Francis Ngannou is used to. That's a walk in the park. That's breakfast on a Monday morning, taking an elbow. But the fact that Tyson Fury had to fall back on using his dirty tactics just lets you know to the level of character of individual that you're dealing with Tyson Fury. But boxing is a dirty sport. It's a dirty, corrupt sport, and everybody knows it. And so I'm going to go ahead and play a clip of Chael Sonnen, who doesn't even like Francis Ngannou, and he's going to talk about their history. This is somebody who has a bias against Francis Ngannou and has a relationship with Tyson Fury. So this is somebody that has absolutely no reason to lie. I'm going to go ahead and play the clip, and then, of course, I'll come back and chime in.
I have had 2 interactions with Francis Ngannou, neither pleasant. One of them that involved security. So those things are difficult to get around. So I will just disclose a biasness to you. With that said, a man's commitment and body of work deserves to be recognized, and it deserves to be recognized accurately. That is disgusting what they just did to him. And anybody would have been wise to predict that was going to happen to him. You know, he was humbled. That was clear, but I'm not positive that he has a full recollection of what was going on. And I say that, for one, maybe to cover for Tyson, but 2, to also tell any of you that didn't see the fight a lot about what happened in the fight. Francis knocked the hell out of him. I mean, this is a heartbreaking thing for me. And not because of whatever weirdness I got going with Francis. It's a heartbreaking thing for me because my entire life I have respected boxing. And to find out that boxing is fake, I don't mean that the decision was corrupted. You cannot be a real sport You cannot, by any means, be a real sport. This is the second time I've seen the best in the world in boxing, the absolute best in their prime in boxing, get beaten up by a guy with zero experience. That was anything but the best Francis. And you know what he did so well from a physical standpoint? He didn't violent punches. Francis commanded that ring like the champion. Francis walked him down.
So, of course, I mostly agree with Chael Sonnen on this one. Mostly agree. I disagree that boxing is not a real sport. I disagree that because Tyson Fury looked like this, that boxing is not a real sport. Like I said, Tyson Fury is overrated. He's been overhyped, the great white hype. And he's benefited by using his extreme weight and height advantage to his advantage. You're talking about a heavyweight champion that gets dropped damn near every fight. That's not a great champion. That's not a great champion. I don't care what you say. I don't care how many times you get up. Getting dropped in every fight, that's not a good look. That speaks to the weakness of your chin, and that speaks to the level of competition within the heavyweight division. But it doesn't represent the entire sport of boxing. But it is what it is. This is what the sport of boxing looks like and what it's always looked like historically. We've always had situations like this where the fix was in, one way or another. But go ahead and chime in below and let me know if y'all watched the fight and who y'all thought won. And also go ahead and make sure you hit that like button for me on the way out if you haven't done so already. And as usual, peace and chaos.